You don't need to train for endless hours to race a strong IRONMAN 70.3 triathlon. You just need the right key sessions, used consistently and for the right reasons. Over the years, I've coached thousands of athletes and I've made plenty of mistakes myself, so what you'll hear today comes from a lot of trial and error. One thing I've learned is that IRONMAN 70.3 success isn't about piling on endless hours. It's about choosing the right sessions at the right time. So in this video, I'll share the 5 workouts I consider absolutely essential for IRONMAN 70.3 athletes. They're simple, repeatable, and incredibly effective when done consistently. Let's get started. So your long ride is the foundation of your IRONMAN 70.3 bike fitness. Nothing clever here, just steady time in the saddle at around zone 2 or roughly 65 to 75% of your FTP. Or put more simply, riding at a conversational pace. The key is keeping it genuinely steady. Most athletes drift too hard on climbs and then soft pedal the flats. If you can keep it controlled, the long ride quietly builds the aerobic base that allows you to hold race pace for more than 2 hours. It's not glamorous, but it works every single time. Aim for somewhere between 90 minutes and up to 4 hours or even 5 hours if you're training for an Ironman, depending on your experience and where you're at in your journey. Gradually increase the ride duration as the weeks go by, rather than making big jumps in one go. Keep your fueling simple and use these rides to practice your nutrition and hydration that you plan to rely on for race day. I like to do these sessions with friends, personally, because the time passes much more quickly. Whereas if I'm riding on my own, I'll often plan a stop at a coffee shop halfway through, just because it breaks the ride into 2 manageable chunks and makes it feel less daunting. And if I'm indoors on the indoor trainer, I usually put on a film to keep things interesting and to stop my mind wandering too much. This workout develops sustainable race power without frying your legs. During these sessions, you would ride efforts at around 80 to 85% of FTP, or zone 3 if you prefer heart rate. The aim is to build your muscular endurance while still recovering well enough afterwards for your key run sessions. A simple starting point would be 3 lots of 15 minutes at tempo with 5 minutes easy between them. If you're more experienced, you can progress to 2 lots of 25 minutes or 3 lots of 20 minutes even. The efforts that you do should feel firm but controlled, like you can manage short sentences, but a proper conversation would probably be out of the question. I used to find these sessions tough mentally until I started using a power meter. That seemed to make the whole thing feel more manageable because you can smooth out the spikes and keep things even. When you ride at 80 to 85% of your FTP, it doesn't feel that bad at first, but it does gradually creep up on you, and by the final interval, you really have to focus to hold that effort level. Sessions like this teach you what your race pace genuinely feels like, and more importantly, how to sustain it. The long run is about durability, not speed. Keep this run entirely aerobic, zone 2 or even easier. You want to finish it feeling like you could have carried on, because that's exactly how a good 70.3 run feels until the final few kilometers. The biggest mistake people make with their long, steady runs is going too hard, often because they want the uploaded workout to look impressive on Strava. If you can't comfortably hold an easy conversation, you're running too fast. Keep it genuinely gentle, and that's where the real endurance is built. Aim for 75 to 100 minutes for most athletes, and up to 2 hours if you're more experienced. Anything much longer tends to create more fatigue than fitness. Focus on relaxed form, light feet and consistent pacing, and practice your nutrition and hydration strategy throughout these longer runs. Bike to run brick sessions don't need to be dramatic to be effective. In fact, most people overdo them. I prefer to keep bricks relatively short and simple. One session I really like is where you cycle for an hour with 2 lots of 15 minutes at tempo thrown in, and then you hop off your bike and you run for 20 minutes, and the first 5 or 10 minutes of that 20 minutes you would try and do at your target race pace. The aim of these sessions isn't to punish yourself, it's just to rehearse pacing and nutrition and to get used to that slightly awkward feeling of running off the bike. If you make these sessions too long or too hard, they'll just become a slog and you'll spend several days recovering from them afterwards. This simple session delivers a huge return on investment because it teaches control. Race day rewards athletes who can pace well in the first 20 minutes of the run. If you nail that part, you're halfway to a strong finish. Ironman 70.3 swims reward strong, steady engines, not flat-out sprinting. A classic swim workout is 10 lots of 200 at, or just above, your target Ironman 70.3 race pace, with 20 or 30 second rests. If you're newer to swimming, you can adjust that distance to 8 lots of 150 or 12 lots of 100. The goal is sustainable discomfort, swimming just hard enough to develop technique under fatigue while improving aerobic capacity. If you can do this swim in a safe open water environment, that's even better than doing it in a pool. Personally, I do all my swim training in a pool due to necessity, but I always think I'd swim better on race day if I could practice outside more often. Either way, this swim session teaches good pacing discipline. Most Ironman 70.3 athletes start the swim too fast, fade halfway and then battle their way to the finish. Sets like these help you find that sweet spot where you're quick, smooth and controlled. A good 70.3 training week normally includes 1 long ride, 1 long run, 1 quality bike, 1 quality run and 2 swims, depending on your schedule. The art is spacing them sensibly so that you're fresh for the key workouts rather than tired all the time. This is where having a structured plan can make life easier. I actually build all my athletes' training around these kinds of sessions. Nothing fancy, just proven fundamentals. And if you ever want a low-cost way to follow a well-designed plan with quick coach support when you need it, mine start from around $30. You'll find the link in the description or you can head to MyProCoach.net. The key message here is that Ironman 70.3 training doesn't need to be complicated. If you consistently hit these 5 workouts, the long steady ride, the tempo bike, the long run, the race pace brick and the threshold swim, you'll build the exact fitness you need to race well without burning yourself out. Let me know in the comments which of these sessions you already do or which ones you like best. And if you found it helpful, do hit the subscribe button because it helps the channel grow. And on screen right now, you'll see another video you might enjoy, along with a playlist full of Ironman tips for athletes. So thanks for watching and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.